Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. So my message are for those of you that are, well, you're sitting in your divine feminine energy right now. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a girl, as you know in tarot. Tarot doesn't go by gender, it just goes by whether or not your energy is leading more from your feminine or your masculine energy at the current time. So this collective, at the current time, you're sitting in your divine feminine energy right now. You are fully in a space of creation and openness. You are very much ready to receive. And I'm getting that the desire for something new, something meaningful, especially in the area of love or connection, that has come into your field. You've been clearing and purging something pretty big. But there's been a full transformation here. A complete reset. And now you're looking at something again, wondering if maybe it could come back around. But this time, it would be done the right way. So let's get into this. We start in this Empress energy. There's still something lingering in the background for y'all. Something that, with the High Priestess reversed, it doesn't feel fully clear. It's something that carries a sense of maybe misinformation, or like you weren't given the full truth about something, or maybe like parts of it were hidden or kept in the dark. And whatever this is, with the Four of Wands, it tells me that this ties back to a setting or environment, a space where there were real connections, real moments, real happiness, and definitely carried a sense of community. And then we've got the Death reversed, the Knight of Coins, and the Page of Wands. So with this Death reversed, you can't help but question if whatever this is actually ended or over. You're questioning whether this is something that still has the ability to transform, to regenerate, to become something, well, real, I guess. Because even though things have slowed down, maybe even stopped altogether, whatever this is, it doesn't feel complete. So you've pulled your energy back. You've moved into protection mode. Things became slower, yes, and with that, they became more controlled and more intentional. So there's no rushing here anymore. But even in the stillness, the thought of the situation altogether, it hasn't quite left. It has stayed consistent, persistent even. And it's still lingering in the background. And with this Page of Wands, this is what that pull is all about. This person or energy, they bring excitement. There's a spark here, something that feels alive. The dynamic, it feels playful and carefree. Definitely different from anything else you've experienced. And I'm getting that's what makes it stand out here, because even after everything's slowed down, you're understanding that that energy, it still hasn't disappeared. Then we get the King of Swords, the Ace of Swords reverse, and the Nine of Swords. So with this, I'm getting that you step into a space of logic, truth, clarity. You're no longer just feeling what you're feeling. You're actually stopping and thinking it through, because you want to be honest with yourself about what this really is, what it isn't, and maybe what it could actually become. But I'm getting that things have stalled out so much that there's this thought that maybe this person has detached, that maybe they have pulled back or might go cold, if not gone cold already. You're thinking that maybe the connection isn't being held the same way anymore. But with this Ace of Swords reversed, you already know what the issue is here. There is quite clearly blocked communication. There's something that hasn't been said. Something maybe hasn't been clarified. Or simply something hasn't been redirected the way it needs to be. And you know that nothing can move forward until that clears. But this is where your mindset shifts. Because if instead of sitting in the unknown, you start to have anxiety. That uncertainty comes into play, and it gives you real fear. But with the Three of Wands, you see expansion, a chance for progress and development. I'm getting that you believe that this could actually turn into something bigger, something that allows both of y'all to level up. And then we get to the Ace of Wands. Because thinking about this, that leaves you fully ignited. You know this chemistry is real, and the desire, that's real too. And yes, you want to engage with it again. But the moment you think about taking action, this Nine of Swords, the anxiety, it's still there. The fear, the overthinking, because you've already felt you have already experienced what it felt like to lose this once before. And when your mind goes there, it brings you right back to that missed opportunity altogether. And with this Ten of Cups reverse, you remember why this connection didn't hold. There was imbalance, discord. It was a connection that felt like it could be everything, but it didn't have the stability underneath it. So it isn't just fear. This is memory. You're recognizing that the container that this existed in before, that couldn't sustain it. And now with the Five of Swords, this is where the shift happens, because you already know things cannot be approached the same way. Something about this connection requires you to change your approach completely, to do things differently, and to move from awareness, not from fear. And with the Seven of Coins, this becomes about patience. Taking your time, not rushing, allowing something to grow the right way, and actually seeing if it can develop into something that sustains and is real. Because that leads and ends the spread with this King of Cups. So this leads to emotionally balanced, heart-centered, understanding, self-aware, and all of those things, that's the outcome of seeing this situation or dynamic through. This isn't chaos, and it's not confusion. It's not imbalance either. This is emotional maturity. And I'm going to say this too, because some of you are sitting in hesitation right now. And I want to say, it's okay to move. Just so long as wherever you move, that you're moving in alignment, and that you're not moving from fear, not from urgency, and not from needing to control the outcome, but moving from a place of clarity, intention, and emotional awareness. Because, well, the other option here is not moving at all, letting it sit and letting it stall. And if you do that, eventually it's you letting it fade away completely. And for some of you, I'm feeling that's exactly what you don't want here. So this then, it becomes a choice, really. Not a choice between right or wrong, but between an aligned action or, I guess, taking a silent loss. And that's the message that I have for y'all today. So remember, where there's love, there is light. I'll see you guys again soon.